Hello. This video discusses case study assignments. Again, when we're back into your student Blackboard course, we click on case study assignments. And we see the first 3 available. There'll be 12 total by the end of the semester. You'll have completed 12 case studies. What are case studies? First of all, what's the purpose of doing these? Well, these are real scenarios that are clinically based, and each case study will go through a series of real-world scenarios that with questions that accompany them. Now, when you go through and read the case studies and then read the questions, and maybe you have to go back through it a few times and maybe take some notes. You're going to see that some of these questions involve some opinion. You know, they'll even ask, what is your opinion, or what do you think about? So for those, you really, there are no right or wrong answers necessarily. The idea is to put together the puzzle pieces that you've gathered and maybe draw some conclusions. You may be torn between a couple of possibilities. We'll put that in there. I think it could be this or this. So don't feel like in the clinic, again, a lot of times there are things that aren't so cut and dry, and there are multiple possibilities. So really the goal of these is to encourage you to research a little bit, use the Google machine, use YouTube, use whatever resources. You can use your OpenStax or your patent book to just go through and answer the questions. Now let's take a look at what exactly it is I'm talking about. So when you click case studies, it'll open up the drop box. So it says it's due June 14th, 20 points possible. And then you're going to have a couple of links to click. The first link will have the actual case study. So it's a PDF format. So when you click that, it'll open it in a new window. Okay, and there we go. It's broken up into a few different parts. So it gives a little bit of background information. Oftentimes it'll be in a mock interview or an interview form. And so ask a couple of questions. Now, you don't need to type anything into this area. You just can read through that. You can print them off if you want, but you're not going to submit anything from this particular PDF. What you're going to submit is going to come from the second link, and those are the questions. And that'll be in a Word document. So when I click that, it's going to download it to my computer, and then I can open that up. And then I want to click Enable Editing. And then here are your questions to go with the case study. Now, what I encourage students to do is to split your windows on your screen if you're at a computer. Now, if you're on a tablet or a cell phone, which I don't really recommend doing homework assignments on either of those, but if that's what you have access to, then certainly I assume you know how to use it. So whatever works best for you, but really a laptop or a computer are ideal. But either way, even in tablets, you can do split screen. But on a PC or a laptop, what you can do to split screen, that way you can see the questions and type your answers while having another window open next to it. The case study, for example, where you can, refer to both without having to go back and forth, minimizing and maximizing your windows. So anyway, if you just grab, hold down with your left mouse button, hold the mouse button down, and then grab the top of the screen, you can move that window around. Now, if I move it all the way over to the side and then let go of the left mouse button, it will put it as a half screen, and it'll open up a bunch of options of other windows I have open. So I want to look at or view my Google Chrome. So I'm going to click that. And I had opened the case study earlier, so there we go. Now I have access to reading the case study, and then on this side, I can type right into the Word document. And then from there, you can save. You're going to want to save the Word document. Okay. So let's say finished the questions. Again, the other thing I wanted to remind you of too, not just are some of these a little bit more of your opinion or subjective, some of them do have two parts. So you want to make sure you answer both parts of questions that call for those. One, for instance, asks about Parkinson's and Huntington's disease. So you want to compare, not compare, but you want to have both Parkinson's symptoms and Huntington's symptoms. They are, some of those symptoms you'll notice are going to be similar or the same, and other symptoms are not. So that's basically what you're doing, is gathering a list of symptoms from the patient and looking at a few different diseases throughout and comparing and contrasting what some of the similarities are. This first one talks about a diagnostic table. You don't need to do anything with that. In our face-to-face sessions, we do a diagnostic table together, but you can disregard that for this assignment. So you want to keep your answers clear, concise. Some of them, they don't have to be complete sentences. Some of them can just say, this is what it is. Some of them may be very short answer, is what I'm saying. They don't have to be complete sentences. Where it calls for complete sentences, you'll know when to use them. So I think that's pretty much it. You can cite references at the bottom as well. You don't have to go through and do APA formatting or anything, just simply a link to a website or link to a video or something is fine. But so anyhow, once you do those, you're going to want to save. Oh, by the way, and well, I'll get to that in a second. You're going to put the assignment into the Dropbox, so which is where we left off from when we go back to our course shell. So we have browse my computer. You can click that button, and then wherever you saved your case study, you're going to go in and drag and drop, or you can simply highlight it and click open. And then you'll notice that it's attached here. And then do not forget to click the submit button at the bottom. Okay, so there is a submit button, and then you'll get an email receipt with a time and date of when you submitted it. So if you do not receive an email from Blackboard after you're sure you've done it, then make sure to go back in and check it, because it will show that in your Blackboard that you had submitted it. As far as grading goes, when you go into, and this will be true for the PhysioX assignments as well, when you go into My Grade Book, click My Grades, you'll have a score. When I grade them, you'll receive a score, and then you'll also have a little comment bubble. When you click on that bubble, it'll have a couple of sentences, nothing in with a lot of detail. I put the detail over here in the assignment. You'll reopen your document that you submitted, and you'll find several little comment bubbles, and you can see what I've written or typed into the assignment regarding just any kind of comments, just additions, maybe some FYI tidbits, or if maybe you omitted something, I'll make mention of that. So make sure you look in your grade book, click on the comments bubble, and that will refer you to click on the assignment document itself to read comments. So anyhow, that's all I have for case studies. Again, you can email me at any time. I'll get back to you relatively quickly. And Tuesdays and Thursdays between 11 and around 2, I'll be in the Zoom meeting room. I'll send out reminders as well every before those happen, before every office hour. If you can't meet between those times and you need to meet with me in the Zoom format, please let me know. We can set something up in a different time slot.